You know, I was talking on one of our episodes on reasonable dissent. I said, I believe I was trying to talk about judging people. And I made the comment, you cannot break the inch. And I know somebody asked me not too long after that episode aired, what does that mean? Well, it's almost a counterintuitive concept. You cannot break the inch. What I find most fascinating, well, what that actually means is that we quite often are eager and willing to put rules on other people that we ourselves have exceptions for. And this, of course, to say it's dangerous is superfluous, I guess you could say. And what I find most fascinating is that it's usually the most conscientious people, at least the ones that I've known, that are eager to do that. To create rules that they can put on other people that they themselves don't have to follow. Now, it's almost sort of a hyper conscientiousness, if you could say that would say, I can do it because you can't. To say you can't break the inch, the concept that I have in mind is more of a stretching of it to change its standard. Now the problem with it is when we do that, we are deliberately ignoring the fact that we're going to have to face the very idea we're holding others to. See, for example, I can tell people not to judge all day long, but if I judge people, that right there is going to hold consequences. Even though I could always create an exception for it. Well, I'm judging them because whatever. I'm judging gay people because they are an abomination, or because whatever. But here's the thing. The judgment the standard to which we hold others, if we don't measure up to it, the one who will hold us to it, ooh, there's an interesting idea. The one who will hold us to it will not consider who we are individually. Now, the idea that just hit me. Okay. I'm trying not to proselytize or to preach. Okay? Those of you watchers and viewers and listeners who do not believe in God, you have as much right to not believe as I have to believe. Because that is an interesting set of clouds. I mean, that is what salvation is predicated on. It's on your choice to believe or not believe. But I just saw something I wanted to point out. Just hear the facts. Jesus said, "Don't judge." And I've forgotten where else it says it in the Bible, but it says this: God is not a respecter of persons. And what that means is he's not a respecter of persons. That means in the context of don't judge, we're judged by our actions, not by who we are. All day long, hey, I want to do something just because I'm the BlackWolf. That don't mean shit. If I can't do it, I can't do it. If it should not be done, me being the BlackWolf does not change whether or not I can do it. Same thing with anybody. Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Steven Seagal. There's one for you. Steven Seagal. Just because he's Steven Seagal, he can beat you up? No. Boiling down to, again, I've talked about it several times, and I think that it applies here. God is not a respecter of persons. Consider this. I've talked several times about we have to separate the man from the act. I don't like what Mark Zuckerberg does. That doesn't mean Mark Zuckerberg is my target. I don't like what Mark Zuckerberg does. It's his actions that matter. Mark Zuckerberg is just a man, but the way he behaves is in question. I don't like what Steven Seagal does. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his arrogance, his narcissism. But what do? Oh, that's just Steven Seagal. I got nothing to say to him. It's not going to do any good. Because I have to separate the man from the act. I have to be willing to look at him and go, that's the man. That action is what I detest. And I'm using him as an example. I shouldn't have to explain that. For those of us who suffer from pain from our past and bad upbringing and trauma-filled and traumatic childhoods, same thing. You know, I got along with my dad for damn near 10 months. And the thing about what he is that he is not able to separate the man from the act. If he doesn't like something I did, he doesn't address what I did. He cuts me out completely. because I'm such this evil, horrible, satanic creature. And this is a trap that we fall into, whether we be Christian or not, whether we be Muslim or not, whether we be Hindu or not. We fall into this trap of judging others on rules that we think do not apply to us. And the only reason we think they don't apply to us is because we don't want to be held responsible for our failures in those areas. You cannot break the inch. You cannot make a standard apply to one person that doesn't also apply to you. You have to ask yourself, do I measure up to my own damn standard? And if you don't, you have no business telling anybody to measure up. I'm saying you, I'm throwing myself in there too. I did the same thing with the concept of honor. I had 2 women ask me over the period of maybe 12 years or so, ask me, Peter, how do you define honor? Well, one of them asked me to do a study on and to define honor. And the other person was belittling me and berating me. And the question was, do you have any idea of the concept of honor? And again, I found it comically ironic because both of those women were sleeping with the man who owned me as a slave. The married man who owned me as a slave. Only one of them was single. But when I started looking into honor, I had to think outside of what do I consider to be the most honorable trait. What would I... Yeah, the most honorable traits of myself. I had to look at it and go, what do I consider to be objectively the most honorable traits an individual can possess? I'm going to run a little bit long in this episode. I laid out a structure, and I'll talk about it in another episode. I laid out a structure of what I considered to be the most honorable traits. And of these, I had to look at myself and go, am I loyal? Yeah. Do I adhere to truth? I can't say 100%. But, yeah, I believe that the truth, it stands against the world. Do I respect others? Yeah. Do I respect myself? For the most part. Do I have dignity? Am I chivalrous? Do I have a concept of courtesy, courage, and justice? Courtesy, I try to be. With social anxiety, it gets difficult. Courage, absolutely not. Justice, yeah. And then the big kicker. Actually, the 2 big kickers. Do I have faith? I'll talk about faith in another one. I think you'll like that one, whether you believe in God or not. I think you'll like what I have to say about faith. Do I have faith? I try to maintain it. I try to keep up with it. Do I have faith? I try to maintain it. Or I try to have faith. And then the final kicker, the most difficult one, is do I have power? Do I have self-control? That's difficult. Now, if I can attain and maintain these traits, then I have something to say. But I think that it is unreasonable to hold others to a standard at all. Because not everybody has had the experiences we've had. Not everybody has had the experiences we've had. Not everybody is able to see the same targets that we see, much less hit them. Here's one for you, and then I'll end with this. In the song "The Beautiful People," Marilyn Manson says this: "The weak ones are there to justify the strong." Now let's think outside of the box that he's used that, outside of the context in which he's used that. Yeah, the weak ones are there to justify the strong. The weak ones are there to give the strong something to support. I'm not the strongest by any means in any area. But where I have a strength, it is my obligation to support and to offer assistance to those who need it, where I can help it. Why? Standing aside is no different from pulling the trigger. That's a quote from The Replacement Killers, the movie. And you'll find that one in the Bible too. If the man at the guard tower sees the sword coming to the city and he sounds the alarm, he's done his part. Because if he doesn't sound the alarm, the blood of the city is on his head. If he does sound the alarm and they do nothing, they're responsible for the onslaught. But if he sounds the alarm and they stand up and they do what they got to do and they all get killed, they did their part. And that is my thought for this week. You cannot break the inch. I hope you guys are enjoying these little episodes. I hope that in some way, some form, they're actually useful to you. And I hope that they give you something to think about. I'm not trying to, as I said, I'm not trying to proselytize or preach. I'm just sharing my thoughts. And if you like them, please like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. If you have an idea you want me to think about, drop it in the comment section. I'd love to think. Give me something to think about. Give me something to think about, analyze, break down as far as I can get it. Because I love to think. And holding these little programs here give me a little opportunity to work through an idea. Thank you guys. You guys have a great weekend. Have fun.